Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be discussing rumors, XRP rumors, SEC rumors and potential settlement. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tapping the bell, selecting all the notifications. You will not miss another video update. You can always of course unsubscribe later. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, guys, you are missing a trick. Check it out, linked in the description below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free. It's the first place that we go to notify you of everything that's going on in the crypto space. So why not check it out? Linked in the description below. Right, let's discuss rumors. Let's discuss Ripple, SEC, and potential price action if settlement does occur. Let's just go give ourselves a nice little backdrop here of the XRP price chart and start discussing some of these things. So it's been more than 2 years between the SEC and Ripple that this lawsuit has been going on. And it's likely to come to an end very soon, as there are indications of a scheduled meeting between the SEC and Ripple. According to unconfirmed sources, this meeting may take place on May 8th. Now, there's a lot to talk about this. As I take this with a pinch of salt, I've spoken a lot about dates in XRP and Ripple and all these things. And unfortunately, it's really difficult to know. It's an unconfirmed source. We do not know if this rumor is true or not. May the 8th is just another date that is plucked out of the air as far as I can see. And I have no way of verifying this information whatsoever. But let's dive down and talk a little bit more about what is going on when it comes to these rumors, right? So the current rumors that the plan is to enter into a settlement negotiation that can potentially bring an end to the current lawsuit the commission filed back in December of 2020. So while the update has sparked a lot of opinions, the prospects of an impending settlement has further helped re-energize the XRP community. So prior to this recent update, the broader crypto economy or ecosystem as a whole has been anticipating the summary judgment from Judge 𝗕𝗪𝗪, who has been presiding over the case since the beginning. Now, based on the precedent and the facts from the case so far, analysts are speculating that there's a high probability and a fantastic chance that Ripple will come out triumphant in this legal case. This is something that we've been talking about on this channel since 2020. There's very little kind of logical reasons to think that the SEC actually had a case here that were going to be favorable to the SEC. It's always looked to me on the outside of this thing that actually Ripple should be victorious in this. And the issues that we've seen with the SEC lawyers and the mistakes that they've been making over the last couple of years, it wouldn't surprise me if the SEC do lose this one. Okay, so with all those things in mind, in the recent information that has showed that the SEC has actually got a relatively poor success rate in cases that Judge 𝗕𝗪𝗪 has presided over. With the much anticipated summary judgment delayed yet again, the rumors of the meeting have further conditioned the minds of many keen observers that settlement might truly be underway. Now, while many are still speculating that the settlement might turn out to be true, there are some people in the space that are not so convinced. In fact, we have a crypto-friendly attorney and legal counsel representing over 75,000 XRP holders, Mr. John Deaton, maintained that the rumors simply cannot be true under any account. And this is why. So given the broad conditions upon which a settlement can occur, John Deaton noted that there will have to be at least a summary judgment, which in most parts favorable of Ripple and not the SEC. So in order for us to even see the idea of a settlement, we first must have the summary judgment. So if there is a scheduled meeting between the two on May 8th, and people are speculating that to be a settlement, it can't really be settlement unless, of course, we have the summary judgment. So one of two things here. One, the meeting is completely unrelated to settlement. Two, they're expecting the summary judgment before the meeting, which is unlikely as well. So all in all, I think it's probably an unrelated meeting, if anything. So we can speculate, but I don't think we're going to see settlement just yet. Okay, and I think John Deaton kind of highlights this incredibly well with the understanding of what actually is required under those conditions, although they're broad, for settlement. Okay. Now, the legal expert, John Deaton, noted that this possibility will encourage the regulator to fight for a settlement if, of course, the summary judgment is in favor of Ripple, which I think most people are now aware is more than likely going to be the case. Now, Deaton also pointed out that the SEC may appeal the decision by Judge Torres if the initial verdict is not in the SEC's favor. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see, and obviously the terms of a settlement, if a settlement was to occur, would be dependent on the outcome of that summary judgment. If it's in favor of Ripple, then obviously it's going to be negotiated. The settlement will be negotiated in favor of Ripple in certain terms and certain conditions. And whereas if that summary judgment is in favor of the SEC, then we're going to obviously see settlement be more favorable towards the SEC. So depending on that summary judgment will depend on the output of the settlement, right, or the conditions and all that kind of stuff from the idea of the settlement. So it's interesting news, right? There's a lot of things to kind of be thinking about, right, in terms of the idea that May 8th might have a meeting scheduled between the SEC and Ripple. And again, take that with a pinch of salt. It's an unconfirmed source. These are just rumors that are flying around. But John Deaton makes it very clear that they can't really be a meeting about settlements if, of course, we do not have summary judgment first. Okay, so we'll speculate into that as we will. This does, of course, mean that there's going to be rumors that are flying around, dates again flying around, that will spark FOMO-related activities. So price action. What do we see? What do we think is going to happen? So we have our daily chart here, Smart Money Concepts. We have another chart here, which is Elliott Wave theory and a few other things going on. And then we have our bigger macro pieces on the weekly time frame showing what's going on as well. So if we start over this side, we see bullish setups. Okay, so yes, there's still some potential bearishness to be had here, just minor stuff. But we have got ourselves a lower high and a lower low situation. These have a tendency to want to break upwards. So we know that there's going to be a potential rally here. Maybe it will happen more towards the 8th. I don't know. Maybe it will happen a little bit after and a little bit further down the line. Can't time this one, but we do think that there's going to be a move to the upside to be had. We can see this time and time again. We had this one here, we broke up. We had this one over here, we broke up, and we're waiting for this one to probably test the 200 EMA and break up. Okay, so that's kind of my expectations on this daily chart for XRP. It can take some time, could be a week or two, but we're looking for a move to the upside here. Now, all in all, do I have a good target? I'm targeting out about 64.62 cent, and that would be because we would look at our structures of everything that's occurred this side, move this over to our side over here, a little rally to the upside. We actually hit the 1-to-1, and I'm going to just lift this up a little bit further, and we can see it may be a possible 1.236 at 68.45, in fact. So we can see that there. Now, we take a look at this slightly differently. If we take a measurement from this run here, we'd actually have to look at this as a WXYXZ potentially, but I'm going to take it. I will do that. I will take it as a WXYXZ because that would make the most amount of sense. So if I take this over to our existing low down here, it would actually be, yeah, pretty much right in line with that 1.236 on that one there. So you can see it lining up quite nicely, 68.48, 68.45. So those two are lined up. I'll draw a little yellow box in because it is a slightly lower target at 62.80 up towards that slightly higher range target as well. So if I go ahead and remove these off, right, the thing that I would be looking at here would be the idea that we go W, X, Y, X, Z like that. Okay, and it is all corrective. And so from here, we would potentially move down, unless, of course, we get, you know, some kind of settlement, which I think we'll have a moonshot at that point and we'll significantly move to the upside. Now, our smart money concepts is in a bullish state of play. We've spoken about this before, and what we're waiting for is a break of structure. We're waiting to actually get confirmation of this. I think we're probably going to get that if we close above this level of around 58.91. I think we're going to get that. So this is a weekly time frame, but if I take this to a daily, we can see we've actually got a couple of breakout structures already. We've pulled back down here. We've got to move back up again. Okay, so on our daily time frame, if I bring this up, we can kind of see ourselves just moving down. We've corrected into this quite nicely. We're resting on equilibrium here, really holding it strong, finding good support on that daily 200 EMA. And we've got fair value gaps a little bit higher. Big buy order blocks down here, so looking pretty good. There is a fair value gap, but I'm not looking at that thinking we have to move down there. Maybe it'd be nice if we did just tap that out and then move on up. But yeah, it's looking pretty strong overall, right? So dollar cost averaging, basically 45 cent down to the strong low of around 34 cent. Seems quite broad, but seems like a good area to be dollar cost averaging for that move to the upside. As soon as settlement comes along, I'm expecting big runs on XRP. Now, if I take this down into here, you can kind of see the level of progression that we could be aiming for. $5.62 to $11.28 would be pretty conservative, just under a 3-wave corrective structure, but it's possible that we actually go maybe even significantly higher than this, and we actually take things into an impulsive structure, meaning that we end up going into the kind of $30, $40, $50 level XRP tokens. Now, there's a lot of selling pressure that's going to occur under those scenarios, right? So it's not going to be something that you just see instantaneous growth on. Now, I think you'll see emotional FOMO, okay, that would take price pretty significantly higher. So I do think we're going to end up with new all-time highs and up into this range pretty easily. But once you kind of get into that $10 range, you're going to find a lot of selling pressure occurring, right? It's a theoretical number that a lot of people have in their head. They'll sell at $10 or whatever. And so you'll find that selling pressure will amount. The higher this pushes, the more selling pressure there starts to become. So if we want to see price movement, we really have to focus on supply demand, and we need to shrink the supply and we need to increase the demand. That's going to really push things up. So the settlement of the case with the SEC and Ripple is going to fuel this quite significantly. That's going to allow US to list it on their exchanges. It's going to allow a lot of the US participants to get involved in XRP and so forth, right? So we're going to see naturally a shrinkage of supply and an increase in demand. But as soon as we kind of get up into those higher ranges, that selling pressure is going to really mount up. So we want to be a little bit cautious with that. But there's some decent progression here on the price action of XRP on the face of it. So it's looking pretty good. I would expect 10, 20x pretty comfortably on the settlement of the SEC, in my opinion. But let me know what yours are. Okay, I think there's going to be some fantastic things that are going to be happening over the next few weeks and months. But let me know, do you think that the 8th of May is going to be settlement? Do you disagree with Deaton? Or do you think that, we're going to be getting there, but it's going to take a little bit longer and we've got some more dollar cost averaging opportunities to come? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this useful and informative, smash that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you're new, subscribe. Don't forget to join us in Discord. And guys, I'll catch you all in the next one. We are not financial advisors. None of what we have communicated verbally or in writing here should be considered as financial advice. It is not. Do your own research before investing in any digital asset or affiliate offers, and understand that investing in any crypto is risky. If you do, you need to be prepared to lose your entire investment. This video is for information and entertainment purposes only. All our videos are strictly personal opinions. Please make sure you do your own research and never take our opinions for financial guidance. There are multiple strategies, and not all strategies fit all people. Our videos are not financial advice.